Hi, my name is Dr. Jim Fox from Salisbury University in Salisbury, Maryland. I teach a number of research, quantitative analysis type of classes in the graduate programs here in education. And I'm excited to be with you today to provide some instructional content for using Excel. Excel can be a little bit scary, but it doesn't really need to be. We're just going to jump right in, and that's what I'm going to ask you to do as well. After each one of these sections, you'll have about 5 to 10 minutes to recreate what I've done. And after each section, I have the tasks here. So here's section 2, the tasks, and they should take no more than 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, let's jump right in. Now in Excel, you see a lot of different boxes here. These boxes are not boxes, they're called cells. And each cell is at the intersection of a column. So this cell that I just clicked in is at the intersection of column D and row 6. You also see up in the left up here something called the name box, and it will tell you exactly what cell you're in, the name of the cell. Also, we'll use this insert function feature in a little bit, in a couple more sections. But this right here is called the formula bar. It's a very important place in Excel. We'll do a lot of work here. Once you click in a cell, you can type either right in the cell by putting the cursor in there, by clicking again. And notice when I type in student in the cell, it also shows up in the formula. If I hit tab, it'll take me over to the next cell, and I'll type in test 1, tab. Now, again, I could go up to the formula bar and type test 2, tab, and I'm back up in the formula bar. So this is some type of a reading score. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the data in, and this is what you'll be doing as well. So 1, and now for this, instead of tabbing, I'm going to hit enter. 2, enter. 3, enter. 4, enter. 5, enter. We'll just do 4 different variables and 5 different cases. So test 1, 77. 52, 74, 73, and 90. Go back up to test 2, 75, 81, 99, 96, and 78. And then the reading score, this is all bogus data, so I'm just kind of creating it, 23.3, 24.9, 29.2, and 26.3. Okay, now I did something beforehand so that one row would look a little bit different, and to show you that you can actually, once you type the data in, the header row in, you can actually format just like you do in Word. So this row right here, and I just highlighted the row. It's bold, so it shouldn't be bold, so I'll toggle the bold button up there in the Home tab, and so now everything looks pretty much the same. Now you can format the data just like you do in Microsoft Word. You can add all kinds of different. You can change the color of the text and so forth and so on. Make it bold, italicize. Some basic things that I like to do. I like to center all of the data. So right up here in the Home tab, you'll have alignment buttons. So I just aligned all the data, and it doesn't have to be centered. You can do it any way that you want, but I'm just showing you that that's a possibility. The other thing that I like to do sometimes is to make the header row bold, and so we'll just stop there right there with the formatting. Now, formatting, you have to make sure that if you're working with percentages, so like 0.75, let's say we had 0.75 right here, if this is a percentage and we want to show it in a little bit different way, you'll also see, again, on the Home tab, somewhere around the center, you'll see like general, number, currency, like what type of data are you actually using? So this one is a percentage. And oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. Percentage. There we go. So it's 75%. This doesn't have anything to do with our data analysis table, but just showing you. And then there's also a decrease and increase decimals. So if we wanted to increase our decimals or decrease our decimals. So we have to make sure, if we're working with dates, there's one for dates. If we're working with currency, if this were actually currency, you could either go up and click currency, or you can use the little down arrow there. We're working with English, and yeah, either currency or accounting. So they're a little bit different. Okay, let's get rid of that data. So it's very important to realize what type of numbers you're working with, and then so bottom line is we have created a data table. What I'd like for you to do, I want to show you where to save your file. So File, let me go back, File, and then Save. I've already saved mine, so I'm just calling it Excel Basics Part 1 Fox. But if you wanted to save yours as a different name, you could do Save As, or if you click Save, it works just like Microsoft Word. So I want you to pause the video, recreate this data table right here, name and save your workbook, and then sometime, it shouldn't take too long, but maybe more 5 minutes or so, go ahead and resume the video. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you recreated the table, you didn't have any issues, you saved your workbook, so we're well on our way here. So we're going to do some editing of this table, this worksheet, and also introduce you to formulas. Before we do that, I want to show you that we can actually copy whole tables. So I just highlighted this range of cells, and then I click on Copy up here on the left, and let's put this one right here, and I click Paste. So we've just copied and pasted this data table. Now, one of the things that you'll often do is create a title. So let's create a title called Grade 3 Student Data, and then hit Enter. And I want to introduce you to a little button called the Merge and Center button. On a Mac, you may not see the word Merge and Center, but there is an icon that looks just like that. So take a look at that icon. Before I do that, I want to highlight all the cells where I want to merge, the cells that I want to merge, and also center whatever is in that first cell. So I just highlighted all of them. Now I click Merge and Center. So it just merged and centered that data. So when we look at this cell, this is E16, but if we click on this one, this is E15, even though it looks like a range. Now you can do all the things that you normally do with formatting in Microsoft Word. I just click bold. I can increase the font size, and so I can create a highlight. So you click there, and let's make it green. Let's center it horizontally and vertically. Okay, so let's stop right there. So you can format anything by using this area on the ribbon in the Home tab. Now, I do want to make you aware that you can also insert a column or a row. So, for example, if we wanted to insert a row right after, let's say we're going to do a test 3 row. I would highlight the row right after, and then go up here to the Insert button. So find that on your ribbon, and click it one time, and it enters that new row. Or I can, if I highlight those cells, I can also delete. You can also do the same thing with rows. So if I wanted a new row between 1 and 2, I click Insert, and it's going to make a new row there. Or if I want to delete a row, so take a look at those buttons up there. So anytime you type in an equal sign, it fundamentally changes the cell, the nature of the cell, and it wants a formula. So let's type right up here in the formula bar. If I do 3 plus 3 and then hit enter, even though up in the formula bar, this is what's actually in the cell, but what shows up is the actual calculation. So it's like a calculator. Or I could do 3 minus 3, hit enter. Yep, it's 0. Or I could do 3 times 3. Now for Excel, you don't use the X. For multiplication, you use an asterisk. But 3 times 3, enter. Yep, it's 9. Or for division, there isn't a division key unless you have a really special keyboard. Use the backslash. So 3 divided by 3, enter, and you have a 1. Now I'm introducing formulas because you can. So for example, let's do equals. I'm sorry. Let's put total in here, and let's add these numbers up right here. So equals 77 plus 52 plus 74 plus 73 plus 90, and then hit enter. So these numbers here add up to 366, but that is the absolute wrong way to do that. What we want to do, what happens if we add a row? And we're going to have to go back and change our formula here. So sometimes on very basic things you will put in actual numbers, or if you want it to act like a calculator, but most of the time you'll click here, you'll go up to this little fx, which is an insert function. You click that one time and a little pop-up box comes up. Now the category is all, so that's the last thing I had mine on. So you can go to the all category, and then you can scroll right down, and the word we're looking for is sum, S-U-M. I click on that and click OK. And this box here basically is saying what range of cells do you want? And you can use this, or I like to simply highlight the cells, click and drag right down, and it's F17 through F21. That's the range, F17 through F21, and then I simply hit OK, and there it is, 366. So before we go too far though, I want to remind you Stan's 3 favorite statistics are the average, the standard, we're just going to type it as SD, standard deviation, and median. And guess what? There are functions, there are insert functions for each one of these. So I'll go back up here. So I clicked on the cell first. I'll go here, and you can also just type in the word right up at the top there, and it will take you right to it if you know which function you're looking for. Click OK, and then highlight the range and hit OK. And so that's the average. The standard deviation, go back up to the FX, the insert function. And actually it's STDEV, but if it doesn't show up on yours, if you have your all, STDEV, I'm going to type it right in. I think that might be a little bit easier. Because we know what it is, STDEV, enter, there it is right there. I click OK, I highlight the range and hit OK. And then the median, insert function, I'm just going to start typing MEDIAN, enter. There it is right there. I click OK. I highlight the range and I hit OK. So we've just created the total. Doesn't really, that's the sum, because I just wanted to show you the sum, but it's really the average, standard deviation, and median that we're looking for. Look at all those decimals. Let's decrease those decimals for the standard deviation, maybe down to tenths. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do is recreate the data analysis using the insert function that I just used. Complete all the data analysis for sum, average, STDEV, and the median for all three, test 1, test 2, and reading. So you'll want to pause the video, take about 10 minutes at the most. As soon as you get to 10 minutes, just kind of stop what you're doing and start and resume the video. Okay? Okay, welcome to section 3. Hopefully, if you did everything right, this is what your numbers should be. So take a look at these numbers, compare them with yours, and make sure that you did everything right. Okay, I want to show you a couple more different ways. I'm going to delete the test 2 and the reading analysis data, and I'm going to click in here in total. So total, that's the sum of F30 to F34. There's another way to do this type of it's a little bit quicker than going through function and hitting and doing the ranges and so forth. And you'll probably say, why didn't you tell me this before? Because I wanted to show you different. Anyhow, we're going to click here and we're going to copy, and we're going to click in the next cell and we're going to paste. Excel is really smart in that it knows that you're copying very similar type of data. So this one is sum of F30 to F34. This one is the sum of G30 to G34. As long as we're here, and we might as well go ahead and put in the next one. So again, anytime you get that box and you don't want it to be there anymore, just click someplace else and click your space bar. So let's recreate that again. Copy, paste, paste. Okay. Click someplace else. There's a third way to do this. If I click on this cell right here, there's a little small green square at the bottom, and when I take my cursor kind of looks like a big plus sign. When I hover over that little square, it turns into a little plus sign. So now that I have it on there, I'm simply going to drag, just like I'm highlighting, and then let go. And it populates that data. I'll do it with the median as well. Just drag it right on over like I'm highlighting, and then let go. So that's a third way to, once you do one of them and you have similar type of data and you're doing similar type of things. So we always do want to check though. This is sum. I'm looking up here in the formula bar. This is an average, STDEV, median, and median. Okay, now the really fun things about functions is that if we wanted to add more data, so say for example we have another student, so I'm going to insert another, I use the insert up here, and these are all clear cells. So let's add a sixth student, and let's say that on this test this student is a really bright student, got a 100. Now I want to show you what automatically happens when we hit enter. Take a look at this data right here. Everything changed. So now the total, if I double click, you can also see the formulas there. Hit enter, double click, F30 to F35, F30 to F30, yep, that's correct, enter, standard deviation. Now, for the median, for some reason, this didn't go down to F35. I don't know why, but we can actually just go right up here and type in 5 instead of 4, and then hit enter. I saw that little green mark there. That means something is up with this cell that's a little bit different. I'm also going to decrease my decimals. I don't know why they went up so large. Okay, let's do that one more time. For test 2, they also got 100. Hit enter. See that little green thing? It's telling me something's up with the cell, and I don't know exactly why. So some things happen in Excel we don't always know, but it makes me want to check this cell. So when I check it, I double clicked on it. Again, it's not going all the way down to 35. So I'll just change that 4 to a 5, hit enter. So you always have to check the data. And for the reading score, let's say they got a 30. Again, I'm going to decrease, like, why didn't the others increase? I don't know. I have a little green thing here. I want to check this one, right? Yep, it only went down to 34. So we'll change it to 35. And then hit enter. So everything should be good now. So what I'd like for you to do in this final section here is to delete your data results for test 2 and reading. So delete those. Whatever one you're working on. You probably haven't copied them over. And then copy and paste from test 1 to test 2. So we did it first. We did a copy and then a paste into test 2, and then do that, copy and paste from test 1 to test 2 for all of the data there. So we'll get rid of that. So again, copy, paste. Okay, copy, paste, copy, paste. And then take this one, click someplace else, take this one, and then drag it over. So copy and paste from test 1 to test 2, and then use the little green square to copy it over to reading. So you have different ways to do, do each one. Okay. So let's pause the video, take 5 or 10 minutes to follow these directions here, and work with functions a little bit. All right. Okay, hopefully you didn't have any issues doing that. You might have had to fix something, but that's good. We always have to check the data to make sure it's accurate. Now, just finally, I want to share with you, especially those of you who have never used Excel. You just created a data table and used some formulas and functions that regular Excel users don't use very often, but it's some of the powerful really nature of Excel, using the different functions here. So it's a continue to explore those functions. There's a lot of different functions, but there are basic ones that you'll use all the time, like average, standard deviation, and median. So hopefully that was helpful to you. At some point, you'll also want to go up and click on each one of these different tabs eventually, and take a look at all of the ribbons to see what you're able to do in Excel. And then you'll continue to grow and learn and learn new things. The other really important thing is on the Home tab, everything up here. Maybe there's a couple things you might not use very often, but so many things right up here on this Home tab. So I would really take time to look through this Home tab to see all that you're able to do with Excel, and you'll grow in your use of Excel just by looking at this Home tab and looking across the ribbon here. Okay, hopefully that's helpful to you, and blessings.